Sal Fira, partner, national PE leader with Grant Thornton. Great to see you at InterGrowth 2017.
Thanks, Rhonda. Good to see you too.
Grant Thornton really talks about the PE life cycle process and helping at every step of the way. What is the most challenging part of that process for clients?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, the private equity industry is under considerable pressure. In fact, we know that competition is really the biggest issue they're facing. And ultimately, they have to do things different to survive. And I think what they're doing differently is to distinguish themselves in helping them create value in their investments. And so when we think of the private equity life cycle, it really is about helping our private equity clients, the funds themselves that make these investments, and all the challenges of actually building an infrastructure and starting a company. And then to help the deal professionals make good investments, whether it's on due diligence or other transactional areas or operational assistance in helping them create their value creation model. Whatever that might be, we know that's a really fundamental challenge for them. And then obviously we talk about the PE life cycle, it's then how do you prepare for exit? And those have significant challenges, Rhonda. And so we help our clients, our private equity clients, prepare for exit so they can realize those returns that they created. So when we think of the private equity life cycle, I mean, fundamentally it really is helping them with the fundamental challenges of executing on their business.
Why is it that there's not a one-size-fits-all model when it comes to value creation?
The reality is that it's probably fundamentally the most difficult thing to execute on, mainly because every deal has a different thesis, every deal has a different industry, and the company that may be acquired has a different business model. And so it's just so extensive in terms of ultimately how you execute on a value creation model that it's just an imperative, really, for the companies to understand those differences and develop a real customized approach to value creation.
You mentioned how competitive PE is right now. Do you see any change in that current environment? Because last year felt competitive, this year feels competitive. What will change the equation, if anything?
Yeah, it's a great question, and the fact of the matter is that we had record transaction volume last year, the year before in 2015. We came off a more stabilized year due to a number of factors, Brexit, the economy, the election, etc. And so now, but one of the fundamental things that's remained continuous or steady or has increased has been fundraising and just capital to deploy. I mean, Rhonda, there's $820 billion to deploy, and that's about $2.5 trillion in purchasing power to buy companies. But ultimately, I think private equity has learned restraint. They've learned how to actually make a better investment than they did 10 years ago. They've learned how to better create better identify these value creation levers that they can pull. But ultimately, I just believe that the firms who do that the best, not the smartest, just execute the best, are going to survive and continue to generate those historical returns that private equity has.
Sal Fira, so nice to spend some time with you. Thank you.
Sure, Rhonda, thanks.